We're talking about various issues and talks of the town regarding stars in Korea. This is Celebrity Talk. What's the topic today, Crystal?
Well, Korean movie fans will be extremely happy about today's topic. Today we're talking about two movies that are getting a great response in theaters right now, The Battleship Island and A Taxi Driver.
Great. I saw both movies and I can tell you from my personal experience, they both moved myself and the whole audience. Let's give you the details. This is Celebrity Talk.
The Battleship Island and A Taxi Driver. After receiving tremendous love and response from here in Korea, The Battleship Island opened in limited theaters across North America on August 4th and A Taxi Driver on August 11th. And I hear that moviegoers over in the States are loving it just as much as audiences here.
Well, that's right. They are both very emotional films. Both take place during turbulent times in Korean history. The Battleship Island is about Koreans who are forced into labor camp on Japan's Hashima Island in 1945. And The Taxi Driver is about the Gwangju democratization movement on May 18, 1980.
That's right. Now, the Battleship Island was sold to 113 countries, while A Taxi Driver was sold to several countries like Australia and even England. And with all this international exposure, we really hope that more people will be interested in Korean history and culture.
That's right. That would be great. Thanks for the talented cast and crew. I'm sure these movies are sure to make an impact wherever they are viewed. And speaking of a talented cast, let's find out who's leading the charge.
Well, national stars are on both rosters. Song Kang-ho is in A Taxi Driver and Hwang Jung-min is in The Battleship Island.
Yes, both actors have set records by bringing in over 10 million moviegoers to theaters. Now, in their new movies, their characters are somewhat similar.
That's right, Jasper is correct. Their characters are somewhat similar. So on the left, we have Hwang Jung-min in The Battleship Island. And Hwang Jung-min's character is a wily character who likes to do just enough to get through life. But as the story progresses, he becomes a man who fights injustice and he fights for what he believes in. And on the right side, we have Song Kang-ho in A Taxi Driver. And Song Kang-ho's character first drives to Gwangju after being offered about $90 US, but he ends up getting caught in the middle of the pro-democracy movement over in Gwangju.
It's incredible to watch these two actors acting with their emotions, such intensity and emotion. And what's interesting is that they are both fathers with a daughter. And you can feel their gruff and protective dad vibe.
That's right. The young actress Kim Soo-han from The Battleship Island is actually a huge fan of Song Joong-ki that everyone knows. And she said that it was very difficult to work around him, but she had no problem working around Hwang Jung-min, her dad character.
Kim Soo-han might seem familiar to our fans. You might have seen her in the hit movie Train to Busan. Reporter actually asked her which dad she likes, Gong-yoo or Hwang Jung-min, and she actually answered, I like Song Joong-ki.
Well, that is an excellent answer to a very difficult question. Well, now going back to our topic, if you guys are used to picking movies to watch based on the lead character, you guys have a very tough decision because you can't go wrong with either Song Kang-ho or Hwang Jung-min.
Now, we mentioned that both movies have real stories, real histories to their stories. So that's why the crew has been working really hard on their props and their sets.
They really have. The Battleship Island is set in Hashima Island, and instead of using CGI, they actually constructed a set. So they actually built parts for a labor camp and an island to scale at Chungcheondo City and Gangwon-do Province. And over the course of 6 months, they built a set that's over 66,000 square meters, and that's pretty big.
That's like the size of a small island. That's crazy. We heard that they worked every day for about 6 months to build that set. And some people there said that they kind of missed that place. I'm not sure about missing that place, but I understand that mining scenes were really amazing.
That's right. So those were made in very narrow tunnels where the actors had to crawl through the tunnels, and all the cameramen and the staff had to crawl through the tunnels as well.
That's right. Well, their hard work really paid off, and the cool props in A Taxi Driver was the actual car that Song Kang-ho was driving the whole throughout the movie. That was a replica of the actual taxi that was used in the 1980s.
That's right. So this taxi cab isn't made anymore. So the crew spoke with the original manufacturer of the taxi cab, an imported model that was most similar to the original, and they rebuilt it and added numerous coats to the taxi cab, and that process itself took 7 whole months.
Wow. Well, that taxi had significant screen time, and also the back in the 1980s, Song Kang-ho, the taxi drivers had to wear uniforms. So the crew actually made that uniform, the same uniform that they used to wear back in the 1980s, and Song Kang-ho was wearing that uniform the whole throughout the movie, and they made 20 of those.
Well, you always have to be prepared, especially for movies. Well, the cast and crew did an amazing job to give authenticity, so props to them.
Now, back to the cast. They both boast an A-list cast. Not just veteran actors like Hwang Jung-min and Song Kang-ho, they have strong younger leads like Song Joong-ki and Ryu Jun-yeol.
Song Joong-ki plays an independence fighter in Battleship Island, and the director said that he cast Song Joong-ki because he reminded him of James Coburn's character in the movie Magnificent Seven. And the director saw that in Song Joong-ki, and audiences get to see that rough, tough side of Song Joong-ki as well.
Yes, Song Joong-ki's charisma on screen is astounding. But this is kind of off topic, but did you see the Song Hye-kyo's name in the ending credits?
Yes, I did, and I was extremely surprised, but the director said that he included Song Hye-kyo's name because that he was so thankful for all the coffee trucks that Song Hye-kyo sent to Song Joong-ki and of course all the cast and crew.
Yes, that was a very sweet, thoughtful gesture. Ryu Jun-yeol also held his own and a taxi driver. He spoke Gwangju dialect.
He got lessons to speak the dialect perfectly, and he did extremely well in it. Plus, he plays the only college student who can speak English in the whole movie, so he acts as an English translator for the German journalist. Ryu's character gets very invested in trying to express the desperation and emotions of the Gwangju citizens, and extremely touching.
Crystal, I think we can add another one to Ryu Jun-yeol's fan base.
Of
well,
course.
You're not the only one, because even his fellow actors said that he was amazing. Song Kang-ho said, "I was in awe of Ryu Jun-yeol's passionate approach to his performance." And also Thomas Kretschmann, the German reporter in the movie, said that Ryu Jun-yeol is extremely sincere and performs with heart. He fell into character, and I loved watching him portray a naive, passionate university student.
Well, Song Joong-ki and Ryu Jun-yeol play pivotal characters in their respective movies, and they don't take this responsibility lightly. Watching them in these two movies really makes me excited for their future productions.
Yes. And Thomas Kretschmann, the German reporter in the movie A Taxi Driver, played a really important part. He's the one who we've seen in the movie like Valkyrie, Avengers, Age of Ultron. The director of A Taxi Driver really wanted him in the movie, so he went to Thomas Kretschmann's home, and Thomas Kretschmann readily said yes to the movie, and he actually bought him a dinner too.
So Thomas Kretschmann said that he decided to join this movie because he thought this would do very well in Germany as well. And So Ji-sub was saying for the Battleship Island, he didn't even read his script before saying yes to the part.
Wow. Both the movies had a really amazing cast who believed in the productions as well. That's a really important part. And also, that's a really important thing to make it a blockbuster. A-list cast and the crew that is passionate about the movie. And also the hundreds of extras who are working in the movie, they are really important.
Of course, as Jasper said, extras are extremely important, and the Battleship Island had about 300 extras, and A Taxi Driver had 500 extras. So in the Battleship Island, there's a big escape sequence at the end, and that alone took a month and a half to shoot with all the extras, and Hwang Jung-min and So Ji-sub couldn't stop singing the extras' praises.
Wow. There's also a large-scale demonstration scene in the movie A Taxi Driver. Hundreds of extras were working really hard in a plaza, and they had no shade at all, but they were working really hard and a hot day, and they didn't stop at all.
The stories in the Battleship Island and A Taxi Driver were both propelled forward because of a similar mindset that you can see in the lines of this film. For example, in the Battleship Island, a labor camp prisoner says, "What did we do wrong?" And in Taxi Driver, someone says, "I don't know why they're doing this to us." And I really was sincerely touched by both movies.
Yes. Both movies give us a lot to think about the present society and the past.
I really hope our segment today piqued the interest of our viewers so that you guys can watch The Battleship Island or A Taxi Driver if it opens in a theater near you.
Yes, Crystal, thanks so much for all that information today. Now we can't wait for what she's going to bring us next week. Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with Perfect Chemistry.